Hey, I'm going to the gym every day for 30 days. I know what you're thinking. Derek, that's a lot of days. And I was thinking the same thing, especially as someone who doesn't go to the gym regularly. So, in order to be smart about this, I decided that I should talk to a fitness expert, someone who knows things about fitness, unlike me. Okay, I know some things about fitness. I was a college athlete. I did team workouts, all that stuff. I've been in the gym. I know how to pick up heavy things most of the time without hurting myself. But I thought, if I'm going to do this 30 straight days, no break days, I should get some expert help on this. So thankfully, I have a handful of friends who work in the fitness industry, and I called one of them up and picked his brain. So this is that conversation, but Derek Ritchey, the other Derek, I'm Derek Bigley, my buddy Derek Ritchey, he drops some incredible truth bombs, wisdom nuggets, fitness things. He gives some very helpful insight in this video. So especially if you're someone who is newer to the gym or you're looking for some things to focus on or improve on in your fitness journey, this interview is going to have a lot of helpful nuggets for you. Anyways, hope you enjoy. Here's my conversation with Derek Ritchey. Well, dude, thanks so much for helping me out with this. What was well? First of all, tell people a little bit about yourself. Like, what do you do? Talk about your businesses and kind of all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, Derek here. I've been in the fitness realm for quite some time. Probably a little over a decade.
Yeah.
And I've done a bunch of different things in the fitness industry. I used to personal train. I've had a stint of online coaching. I've worked in the supplement industry. Uh, and then most recently, which is and also what I'm currently doing is I'm an owner at a 24/7 gym
Okay.
here in Lancaster. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me. I We started the gym from scratch. So I have a business partners, and we created a gym right here in our hometown, and it's beautifully not commercial, but it's starting to grow, and we just it's a private sector gym through and through, and uh, yeah, we're really grateful to be where we're at, and and our community is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
what
awesome.
else? What else do you think? What else do you like to know?
No, that's well, yeah.
Yeah,
So, I know the answer, or at least I think I know the answer to this.
yeah.
But what got you into working out in general? Like initially, like what got you into fitness, and then why do you still do this?
Yeah. Yeah, so for me, fitness, I probably started due to sports. I There was a time when believe it or not, I kind of was an athlete to some extent. I don't like to use that term for myself, but there was a time when I did care about athletics. I was playing sports, and yeah, I just knew I wasn't a very big athlete, so I knew I had to get faster, stronger, the works, all that stuff. And that's when I started getting into strength training.
Well,
And I just really liked training. I liked getting results. I liked the nature of it. The sports I played, I wasn't very good at, so I didn't play much. So that was a lot of practicing and not a lot of actual playing.
yeah,
But fitness was something where, okay, well, I could take control of the workout. I feel good. I like doing it. It boosted my confidence, like all the good things that come alongside of a fitness routine.
yeah, totally.
And then, yeah, I had a few sports related injuries, which I needed surgery. It set me back. Uh, I had a lot of atrophy. I lost a lot of muscle. I lost, everything that comes along with the injury. And I more so now than ever, I was like, okay, I have to, take my training seriously to get back to a, baseline level of like sports performance ability.
Mm.
And I think that's where training really just kind of, I don't know, it's just was just a part of my life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it honestly is stuck with me. I just always worked out. I enjoy doing it. And, I have been consistent, like honestly, probably almost a decade now,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
kind of crazy to think about. There's times where you're more serious, you're more focused, but yeah, I've religiously been training for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's definitely helped
Mm.
me get to where I'm at now, in my career and um, from that aspect. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just really enjoy training. That supersedes sports. And actually, a little funny story. I remember vividly having this conversation one time with one of my fellow teammates for the football team, and I said I said something along the lines of, you know what? I think I actually like working out more than I actually like the sport. And he thought I was crazy. He's like, "What? Like, no, you only work out to play the sport."
Mm.
But I was like, "No, I think I like it the other way. I think I like the actual working out more than I like the sport." And
Yeah.
that was, yeah, it was different. And a lot of my teammates, they didn't, they truly only worked out to play the sport better.
Mm.
But I was developing a love just for the actual, fitness itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, little
That's
fun
great, man.
story there.
Yeah, I remember those days. We've been friends since we were 12 years old, which is wild. That's like 17
Yeah.
years ago now.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I mean, you have been kind of like the go-to for me over those years. Each time I've kind of like showed a little bit more interest in fitness because we're the opposite. Like I'm there for the sports, and if I
Yeah.
I'll do
Yeah.
the fitness to like keep me in shape for the sports. But like you were my first ever trainer in I guess that was high school. It was either early high school or late middle school.
Yeah.
Brother Cody and I did the
That's
workouts.
right. Yeah. See, I had to, yeah, it's coming back to me now, but yeah, I actually forgot about that.
That
That was
was
a long time ago.
that was a long time ago. That was like when you were first kind of yeah, I guess it had to have
Yeah.
been because you like knew some stuff at that point and you
Yeah.
created these
Uh,
workout routines for
huh.
us. That's where my first muscle development really came from was that time. And then shortly after graduating college, I don't remember what you had launched your app, and so you were doing the like the virtual coaching. And I
Yep.
think
Yep.
you reached out to me maybe about using the app and posting about it and like going through the workouts, or I don't remember. Somehow we did that, and so I used your app for like a month or something, and
Okay. Yeah.
kind of posted on social media about them,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
great.
I remember what you're saying. Yeah. Yep. I kind of like as like a trial,
Yeah,
like where you could help like market promote your
right,
experience. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. That's
Exactly.
when I was first kind of getting into it.
Yeah, and I remember there were some workouts in there where I felt like an absolute weakling because they were just very targeted. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
get over this bench and use like 5 pounds dumbbells, and you're gonna look like a wimp in the gym, but you're like targeting someone
Yeah. Oh
hitting
yeah. Yeah.
good stuff. So yeah. So anyways, well, and also you have a pretty dope setup there. What's the other thing that you do with your time besides?
Oh, like this stuff here?
Yeah,
Is that you're
yeah.
saying? Okay, yeah. Well, this has been evolving. And honestly, I'll be honest, I don't use this setup much
Okay.
anymore. I actually do a lot of stuff at my office at the gym.
Nice. Okay.
Where I have a very basic setup. It's similar in nature, but it's very basic compared to this. But yeah, this is an very interesting setup. It's an elite cloud gaming content setup.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So, um, and I actually, I don't game nearly as much as I used to, but at its core, it is kind of built around that.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know how much detail you want me to get into here, but I can share
Yeah.
a little bit
Do you
about it.
still
Yeah.
stream?
Uh, I don't stream. I more have the capabilities for honestly stuff like this where I can do short form content.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So I still have the mics. I still have a couple cameras and I got a couple screens here. And it is still like I still have it for that reason
Yeah.
where I do want to get back into it. I want to get more serious with the content and producing content.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I still have this stuff. But I've been doing more work behind the scenes, like editing type work,
Nice.
where I'm not as forward facing.
Yeah.
A lot of Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere, all that stuff.
Cool. I didn't realize
Yeah.
that. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All the all like the Foundry photos and stuff. I'll take those, edit those.
Sick.
Not as much of the videos anymore for me, but definitely a lot of the graphic design stuff behind the scene.
Cool.
But yeah, that's what this setup is, and yeah, I do like to. It's been like I said, I haven't had as much time, but I still have the capabilities that I can game occasionally, and I used to do a lot of gaming content, and
Yeah.
um, but that's kind of evolved. It's more now like I get a lot of joy out of like kind of like the fitness content, so I might start producing more stuff along
Nice,
those
man.
lines.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. That's awesome. Cool. Well, pivoting to the 30-day challenge that I'm doing.
yeah. Did
So
you and you, did you start that? Is that when's
yeah,
that start?
yeah.
Okay,
So as of the recording of this interview, I'm a week in. So today I'm going to do my workout after this. This will be my eighth day of working out. Um,
okay,
First week is done and got another, three and some change. Um, yeah, when you hear something like that, like, oh, this guy who doesn't regularly work out is going to go work out for 30 days in a row. What's like your initial reaction to that, or like your biggest fear for that person, or
yeah.
whatever, how you interpret that how you want.
So when I hear 30-day workout challenge, I think two things probably right off the bat. I think it's I think that's good from the standpoint that I think 30 days is a it's not too long. I
Yeah,
think it's something that's like tangible and you can actually it's attainable from that aspect. Uh but I gotta be honest, like one of the first things that comes to mind is you shouldn't be working out every day.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, if you're
definitely.
truly working out, I think, you need the rest. The rest is important.
Yeah,
Uh, Now you might be able to get around with this with some, clever programming, things of
mhm,
that nature. But I'm gonna be honest, that's probably my first thought.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
okay, because like I said, I've been doing this a long time.
mhm,
Uh, you got to have some sort of like periodization programming where you don't overextend yourself and you want it to be a sustainable
right,
lifestyle modification or adjustment, however you want to view it. Because that's probably its goal. 30 days is great, but
right,
okay, after 30 days, what's the plan?
right,
That's the type of thing. So
yeah,
those are just my initial thoughts, but I do think it's great. I think it's, especially if you're starting out, starting back into it.
yeah,
Like I said, 30 days is a good amount of time. I think most people can commit to that. I think it's worthwhile.
yeah,
And yeah, self betterment, man. Like,
yeah.
it's you gotta get uncomfortable with it, and 30 days is enough to get uncomfortable with it. So,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, no, that's what I was anticipating. And that's what I want to get into a little bit more in this conversation is okay, how would you make this healthy, safe, and sustainable for
mhm.
the rest of the period, basically? Um, but yeah, I mean that's why I decided to do it because I was like, okay, well, first of all, the reason I'm documenting it and posting it is because I respond very well to the fear of um social public embarrassment. So if I start posting, hey, I'm gonna do something, and then
Really? See, but you're an actor. You put yourself out there. You,
yeah, right. So like
I
if I,
thought you were
if I
immune to
say,
such things.
yeah, if I say I'm gonna do this thing, and then
Yeah,
I get a weekend, and then I just fall off the face of the earth,
yeah,
everyone's gonna know who was following it.
yeah.
That keeps me doing it.
Okay,
And the 30-day thing, I think kind of like what you said is like, okay, that's like reasonable enough to be able to commit to doing that. And also there's that whole thing about building habits. You need at least 2 weeks to break a bad habit and
sure.
you
Yeah.
need a new one. So my goal with this is to do this every day for 30 days and not injure myself, but create a change of lifestyle for myself and a desire to be doing this regularly so that
Yeah.
moving forward, I can take a more sustainable approach to it. But I've put in this like heavy,
Okay. Yeah. I can see what you're like, almost like a hard how should you say it? Like a hard stop where like okay you start off hard and then maybe after 30 days you do something that's maybe a little bit more like sustainable and also like something that's more cohesive with your lifestyle, like something of that nature.
right? Exactly.
Um, so yeah, I could see that side of things.
Cool. Yeah. So, I would love to hear your thoughts on when it comes to planning workouts, whether it's
Uh-huh.
day, week to week, keeping in mind that there's no rest days. Like I can take it easier in the gym on a given,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in there. I'm gonna be doing something.
Well,
Um,
why don't you tell me like what are you doing currently? Are you following a guide, a plan? What?
yeah. So the first week I basically did a different muscle group each day,
Okay.
um, and took workouts that either I knew from previous stuff or took stuff that I found on YouTube. So like
Mm-hmm.
borrowed a lot of his stuff. Um, so I think I did chest, abs, and then a light, basically like volleyball warm up in the gym,
Okay.
to then play volleyball in the evening.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Tuesday was, or the next day was back and biceps. Next day was shoulders and tries, and then uh and then the next day was another. I played volleyball again in the evening, so I just did kind of like a full body, like light workout. um I guess that was, yeah, and then shoulders and tries, and then so then today, or no, yesterday, yeah, yesterday, then I hit chest again. So I was basically trying to like space out those muscle groups, uh,
Sure.
and isolate as much as I can, since I'm not resting any days.
Yeah.
um, and then just kind of starting the cycle over. But I would love to hear specifically with like for me, chest is probably like physique wise the thing that I want to develop the most as far as what I
Okay.
mean. Like I already have pretty good like arm definition. Um, I'm still on the leaner side when it comes to just natural body fat. So like I can flex and show that I have abs.
Yeah, yeah.
But the main two things I want out of, like, at least moving forward, is I want like to build up chest, trim up in general, and then specifically lose just a little bit of extra like weight I put in the core area, love handles, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So trimming there and bulking up top are the kind of the main goals. So with those being my goals, is there anything that you would change plan wise, or would you really just focus on like stay healthy, stay safe, and space things out as much as possible over the next 3+ weeks?
Well, I mean, yeah, like I guess what I should say is there's a lot to this from a training standpoint.
Yeah,
There's exercise selection, there's volume,
yeah,
there's a lot of variables, that we won't be able to fully discuss just,
right,
on the call.
right.
Um, I guess the main thing would be, how's your recovery so far? Do you feel like you're able like to, you're waking up and you're ready to conquer a new workout, or are you kind of like, all right, I'm hurting. Like, what do we
Yeah,
got today? Am I gonna make it?
yeah. I think so far like the muscle fatigue hasn't been bad. I
Okay.
know my body has really wanted to sleep like every
Yeah.
night.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well,
that's,
that's good. Yeah. I mean, that's it is a good side effect of
yeah,
training.
right.
And honestly, that's also an indicator why when people don't work out regularly, why they have such horrible sleep because they're not tired. They didn't really do much in the day, and then they're up, in the wee hours in the morning, and the
Yeah,
cycle perpetuates of
yeah,
not
yeah,
doing much physically. But uh, yeah, yeah, for strength, strength building, fat loss, it'll take time to build muscle definition. Like realistically, you probably won't have a whole lot of muscle definition after a month. You would need
right.
a couple months in to really start to see muscle definition and growth.
Yeah,
Those things just do take time. But you'll start feeling better. You'll have better energy. You'll have better endurance. You'll have all those other
yeah,
attributes, which they'll be quicker to notice.
right.
Um, but yeah, like chess, man. If chess is a big goal for you, personally, and this is a personal thing for me, man. I avoid barbell. I do everything dumbbell.
Yeah,
I
okay.
do cable flies. I do stuff like that. Anything with the lengthening,
Yeah,
with the stretch really helps for the growth.
okay.
If you're looking for strength output, that's where barbell comes in. If you want to get power or strength output, But if you're just looking for that look, like building the aesthetic, man, dumbbells are your best friend, cables are your best friend.
Mm.
And so that's why I was saying like earlier, there's not as much time to get fully into the, methodologies and everything, but train for a purpose, you know. So if you're training to be a better volleyball player, if that's at your core what motivates you, and a side effect would be a better looking physique, but if that's not your main driving factor, if your main driving factor is sports performance, you would train entirely different than, someone like me that's really just training for a look, a lifestyle,
Right.
and longevity, honestly, at this point.
Yeah.
Um, so that's part of the reason why the fitness industry has so many different philosophies and training methodologies, and it's an art form, just like like what you do. You can take the same script as an actor, and you can do it a million different ways if you wanted to.
So true. Yeah.
So it's the same thing with training. But yeah, you'll learn as you go. And that, like I said, I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
You learn that, hey, this exercise isn't worth doing because the risk for injury is so much higher than the potential reward of doing that exercise.
Yeah.
A
So
pro
what would be an example of that for you and a like an alternate safer
yeah,
exercise to do instead?
yeah, sure. Yeah. So, I'd say one of the biggest things, like maybe like an overhead military shoulder press with barbell or something.
Okay.
Some standing even.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to really start to weigh. Okay, a lot of stress on the lower back. It's a lot of stress on the shoulders if you don't have the mobility.
Yeah.
The elbows, a lot for the lockout. Like, there's so many different things you got to take into account. It's like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't do that exercise. Like, maybe I should do like a cable, like a single on cable press, or maybe a dumbbell, like an Arnold press with dumbbells or something,
Yeah.
where you can get a similar muscles engaged, and you start to weigh those things. So I can only really speak to my training, but
Yeah.
like I said, I don't do any barbell bench. I haven't deadlifted in over a year.
Yeah.
I don't back squat. And you're
Mm.
like, "Huh, is this dude even in the industry? Like what? Like, heresy,
Yeah. Right.
the big three, and he doesn't even do them, like, and, and a lot of people view trust me, in my industry, man, there's a lot of people that view it that way. Like you need those exercises, and people will battle that to the end of time, whether or not it's important. But I'm just saying, for me, I don't do them. You know, and I feel great.
Yeah.
So, you know, and
Yeah.
that's part of the reason. Like, those exercises are just very difficult to do, execute well, and they're also very difficult to maintain longevity. And ask any elite powerlifter. The hardest thing for them probably is just to maintain performance in the long run.
Right.
At some point, especially if you're a natural athlete like myself, it takes a toll on the body. So you do start to have to question and ask yourself, okay, why am I trying to do this much weight on this exercise? Like, what am I hoping to accomplish? What's best case scenario?
Right.
I hit X amount of weight, because people in this, like, they love to say, like, they love to have like these benchmarks and goals.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing I would encourage you, and I encourage, your listeners here, would be that there's other types of metrics to measure success than just weight lifted.
Mm.
An example of this is everyone wants to bench, 225,
Mm.
315, whatever it is. I want to squat 405, whatever, whatever level you're at, whatever the number is.
Right.
But they're arbitrary numbers in the sense that, okay, like, yeah, no, okay, great. You hit 225, but at what cost? Maybe your back was arched. You bounced it off your chest. You had the worst time under tension. You have very poor tricep utilization, or whatever it could be, because the end goal was this number.
Mm.
Whereas if you change your mindset and, like, okay, well, maybe, there's other ways I can measure success. Maybe success for me could be, if we're talking about basic, exercise like bench again here, like, it could be like, well, maybe I repped, 185 for a clean set of 12.
Mm.
Maybe that's a better goal than 225 for one, or whatever. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's other ways to measure success. It's not just a singular weight. And I feel like novice people fall into that trap where, oh, I ran for, X amount of distance and X amount of time. And that's the only thing they have to measure their success. So next week, I'm going to up that to whatever. You increase it 20%, and it's arbitrary, and it's just like, and it's not sustainable. And then they can't maintain it because they get hurt or they get injured. And the next thing you know, they're in this perpetual cycle of just feeling like they're inadequate or they're a failure because they can't hit
Mm.
this goal they set for themselves. And I'm just saying there's other goals, and like, and not to ramble too much, but I'm just trying to
Yeah.
share some of my experience because like if you ask me, man, I couldn't tell you what I lift for anything, honestly,
Yeah.
because like I don't do the same routine
Mm.
and I don't do the same sequence of exercises. So naturally, if I don't do the same exercise first every time, if I do it later in my workout, it's inherently going to be a weaker
Right.
amount than when I started.
Right.
And I don't do the same exercises in the same order, and I don't do like there's so many different ways you can manipulate things.
Yeah.
So that's just one thing I would encourage you is like don't get caught up in the numbers, man. Get caught up in the results and how you feel.
Yeah.
So
Dude,
that's that's the gist of the tangent.
yeah.
Hopefully
That's
there was something valuable in there.
there. I mean, I was locked in the whole time. Oh,
Yeah.
so good. Yeah. Thank you. That's great.
Man.
Um, okay. So just a fun one. What's one exercise that you wish everybody did that not enough people do?
One exercise. Hmm. I would probably I think I like alluded to it earlier. What comes to mind, I would say probably Arnold press, the Arnold press. And if you're not familiar with that, that's when you have dumbbells and you would come in with the rotation and then you would press up and rotate out.
Okay.
So it's great for the shoulder health. Everyone under the sun could use the benefits of that shoulder strengthening and the rotation um, to their shoulders. And it's isolateral, so you get each side working on its own.
Right.
And I
And
just think,
working on range of motion as well.
yeah, range of motion. It's great for the health of your shoulders.
Mm.
You get in the backside, the sides, the front. You're getting the entire shoulder,
Cool.
engaged. And I think and you get the core, depending how you're doing it, you get upper chest. It's just a great exercise. It's definitely a staple, and I feel like it's something anyone at any level can really do.
Yeah.
You can start with where you're at.
Yeah.
I just think that's great exercise. Yeah.
Nice, man. That's great. Love that. Um, okay, we're running out of time on our free Zoom here, but
Oh, okay. Yeah.
what was I gonna hit here? Oh yeah. So I'm not worrying too much about this. I naturally eat pretty healthy just because of, our health journey and my wife's, health
Oh
issue.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
stuff.
You're
Um,
you're in good shape there.
yeah,
You got the expert. You got it. Every grading recipe under the sun.
exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
you got the gold standard.
That's right. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
but as far as like just to be able to if one of my goals is muscle development, muscle growth, through this, even if it's just a launching pad, what would you say is like a good healthy protein intake kind of threshold, uh,
Hmm.
without going crazy with it?
Yeah.
Or is it different person to person based on all of that?
It is. I mean, generally speaking, I think you want like 1.2 grams of protein per body weight, something like that.
Yeah,
Um, and I mean, how much you weigh? Like,
176 or something.
yeah. So that's definitely in the ballpark
Yeah.
with where you should be.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of variables. Similarly, man.
Yeah.
Um, the timing of the protein, the amount of you can only digest so much at one time, the quality of the protein, the amino acid profile. Like, there's a lot to it.
Right.
Generally, but the best case, I would just focus on your whole foods, man.
Mm.
Focus on whole foods. Try to have like maybe like a palm size amount of protein with each meal.
Mm.
Like honestly, it's basic information, but a lot of people aren't good at the fundamentals.
Yeah.
So just start with those, and that's as you progress, you'll see whether you need more or less. I mean, if you're sore, if you're really sore and you're recovery and you're fatigued, and you have poor recovery and you're fatigued, that might be a sign that you need more protein.
Okay.
But I will say this though, it's generally speaking, your typical like I would say like I don't want to say average American, but I would say like your person that's a health conscious individual, like I would, how I would say you are.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think you'd be having a deficiency in protein,
Mm.
eating well balanced meals.
Right.
Like I just generally speaking, that's not typically the case.
Mm.
Now with that being said, you most likely need a caloric surplus now.
Mm.
So not necessarily just protein, but you probably find that you're just hungrier. You need more food now from
Yeah.
training, and
Yeah.
that's a good place to be. So maybe I guess the point of it is maybe don't put all the emphasis on protein. Put it on the emphasis on like increasing your whole foods caloric intake would probably be like the best place to be because you need everything. You'll need more of everything. That's what I'm trying to say. You'll need more of the
Right.
carbs. You need the fats. You need more vitamins, minerals, all that good stuff. So
Yeah.
your naturally your protein, if you increase in your calories and you're eating similarly, your protein intake will go up with it.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, no, I've been feeling that. I like literally, I guess it might have been yesterday. I like ate my meal. I was like, I'm gonna need. I literally just grabbed a
Yeah.
whole avocado and like
Okay.
salt on it and ate it like a grapefruit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, you get to the point, man. And the thing is, like, I'm, I eat more than the typical person, but I mean, you should see a lot of our members or people that compete or people that, much bigger than I am,
right.
how much, food they need to eat on a daily basis to maintain the status quo. That's definitely something that your typical person doesn't fully understand.
Yeah.
You see someone that's, 250 and they're, strong and relatively lean.
Yeah.
They're eating a lot of food every day, So it's, as you work towards that and you start training more, it is unfortunately you got to eat like
The food budget goes up a
yeah,
little
the
bit.
food budget. Well, yeah, it does, but it doesn't. Like you eat a lot more, but you also eat a lot like more simply.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah.
Costco, things of
Yeah.
that nature, you start to value more, at
Yeah. Totally.
least in my experience.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, last thing on this, because we both touched on it, but um, in your mind, I finished the 30 days and I want to, at the very least, maintain with hopefully like a little bit of continual muscle development and getting
Hmm.
getting leaner the more I do stuff. But not that I'm looking to do the minimum, but what would you say
Yeah.
is the minimum amount of sessions in a week that you would do to at least maintain moving forward?
Sure. Yeah. Well, minimum, I would say 2 to 3 days a week strength training should be the goal,
Yeah.
minimally. With obviously some cardio and stuff in there too. That could be a part of your workout regimen.
Right.
But 2 to 3 days, you need weight bearing exercises to maintain muscle mass and
Mhm.
just honestly just reminding your body that hey, I need these muscles. Don't get rid of them
Right.
because that's what will happen if you stop
Yeah.
utilizing them. But yeah, Bigley, the biggest thing I would say like for you is like you gotta create a training regimen and lifestyle that is sustainable and that you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And it's some degree of fun, maybe even
Mhm.
because that's what's gonna keep adherence for you. And that has to be like supersede everything else because that's how you'll be doing it for years and years. Like go back to my football story or my sports story, like I said, I enjoyed training.
Yeah.
So I wanted to keep doing it,
Yeah.
and yeah, I know you're a sports minded person, but the time in your like, might come time in your life where it's hard or it's hard to participate in organized sports because of time or just the less people doing it in your age bracket, whatever it could be. You get to a certain point. That is the beauty of fitness. If you're doing it right, trying to like honestly, how I try to train is like I intend to do this my entire life.
Yeah.
And I think how I train now is sustainable for me. I,
Yeah.
I don't I don't ever skip days. I don't feel like I have to because it's I have it programmed in and so that's what I say. Just find what works for you. and
Yeah.
it'll be evolving. You'll see that, hey, like, I'm working out 3 days a week and I want to do more because I enjoy it. That's a good place to be, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Maybe you'll suffer through a couple days, but if you do it long enough, you'll get used to them 2 days, and then
Yeah.
you'll get to the point that if you don't do it, you'll start to feel kind of like, um, you'll start to your body will tell you, hey, we gotta get back to this because you'll start to feel a little, sluggish and lethargic, all that stuff that comes alongside of, inactivity.
Right. Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
no, I was gonna say, I believe in you, man. You got this. Just maybe after 30 days, yeah, reach out to, yeah, you can always get a trainer or coach or somebody too.
Right.
If you want like guidance
Yeah.
or even just find your own way and just document things and like what you're doing here, and you'll see you'll you'll find your way. You'll find what works for you.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Yeah, I think I've found a good enough why for me to keep doing this. You kind of hinted at you intend to do this the rest of your life, and I think I hit enough of a point where I hit this. I realized like, wow, I used to be a collegiate athlete. I used to be playing sports like all the time and be able to do things with my body that I just can't do anymore because
yeah,
there's no excuse. Like there's professional athletes who are a decade older than me and they're faster, they're stronger, all this stuff. It's purely because I'm not putting in the work. So like that's the first thing is like I don't like feeling like not an elite athlete. Not like
yeah, yeah,
but but then also like, dude, I want to be healthy for the rest of my life. I want to live as long as I can, have as much time with Ruthann as I can. And so that's reason enough for me to have felt like not how I want to feel to then like, okay, I don't want to do that anymore. So let's build something sustainable from here. So
yeah, yeah. Hey, that's a great reason, man.
dude, thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate it. Got a ton of wisdom out of that. And I have a lot to apply to the next, what, 23 days. And then moving forward from there too. So
Yeah, no, absolutely, Biggs. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I think it's good that you're doing this and you're challenging yourself, and yeah, hopefully you're setting a good example for people, and uh, inspiration is contagious. So
thanks, man.
yeah.
Hey, where can people find you if they want to look up your content or
Oh
your
yeah, yeah,
what? Yeah.
yeah. I'm on the internet. I'm around. So my my handle, I'm most active on Instagram. But my handle it's at DRockGG, so DEROCKGG, and that's my handle. And I actually like I said at the beginning of the here is I do intend to actually start kind of sharing more fitness related content. So actually this is a great opportunity for me because it's got to get me going.
Yeah.
I got to start sharing a little bit more of
Yeah.
what I believe and what I do. But yeah, yeah, and if you're in Lancaster, like I said, my gym, it's the Foundry Lancaster, so Lancaster, Pennsylvania here, and we're always open. So if you ever want to work out, you can go right on our website, thefoundrylancaster.com, and we got a bunch of different options for you, so you can come get a workout and check out the space.
Well, man. Well, thank you. I'm excited for all the stuff you got going on. I love it. Big fan of your gym and all. I didn't realize that you were putting out some of the type of content that you are. So I'll have to.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yep,
But
yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah. Well, yeah, I appreciate this. Was a great interview discussion.
yeah,
What's the terminology? I'm dodging around it.
interview. Yeah,
Podcast.
yeah. It could be eventually.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, dude,
But
I appreciate it. This was fun.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Cool.
Cool.
All right, bro. All right. Yep. Yeah, take it easy.